Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this session I am super excited about because I've spent so much time trying to answer the question. We just had our board meetings for both Native Commerce and Digital Marketer a couple of weeks ago. And the question that keeps coming up for me is we grow well, we're 100% growth, yay, but how do we get 1,000% growth? How do we do it like the people who are really, really kicking butt and growing super, super fast? And so we set out to answer that question and did a ridiculous amount of research and a lot of interviews and found some really cool stuff that I'm gonna share with you, both in terms of models, tools, strategies, and attitudes, culture, that kind of stuff. And so I don't know how many it ended up being, but I'm gonna basically give you our analysis of how we go from 100% growth to 500% growth based on the success of the top 50 internet retailers in terms of growth. So we're basically just studying what they're doing. So the difference here from what most of digital marketers, most of traffic and conversion is about, is this is what other people have done that we're about to do, and then we'll talk to you about next year. So that's a little different. You're getting it kind of a year in advance, but I was just so excited, I really wanted to share it with you. So let's hop into it. So where we looked for the people to, or the companies to model, was the internet retailer list of the fastest growing companies. So Blue Apron was number one with 550% growth. So they're 5Xing. And as you go down the line, you get a lot of people that are kind of where we are. So if you get down to E-Tails and Choxy and Uniqlo, they're kind of where we are. And others that you hear quite a bit about, like Zulily, Dolls Kill, Alex and Annie, NatureBox, they're in the 70s, but they're still growing like crazy, and so there's a whole lot to learn from them. So taking a look at that, keep in mind that they also have a lot of money, okay? So in terms of funding, the Honest Company's got $222 million, right? You can make a lot of mistakes with $200 million, but clearly the Honest Company is doing well, Blue Apron is doing well. They might not be profitable, but they're acquiring a lot of customers. We know how to be profitable, so I wanna look at what are they doing to acquire those customers that we can do too, that you can do as well. The very first thing is they all have a very big mission. So if you look at the missions of Honest, it's to create a non-toxic world that benefits the next generation. NatureBox wants to be the Netflix of food, basically bringing snacks that are healthful to the masses. Dollar Shave Club help guys live a smarter life, which I did not know that. And then Warby Parker, basically cutting out the middlemen and offering eyeglasses at a great price. So our bigger mission, looking at what was happening, and we just really did this finally this year. As you know from Digital Marketer, it's to double the sales of 10,000 businesses over the next 5 years. And for Native, it's to associate 10 million people with common interests in communities so that they can have fun and realize their personal passions. And I am not a mission guy usually. I am a person who says, show me the cool tool, show me the tactic, and let me go get some stuff, right? But I will tell you, to grow a big company, and we've seen a big change in how our staff has embraced the company and embraced the values that we're talking about now that we have them articulated. It's not like we were, screw everybody and get money. That was not our mission until we did this. But having this mission that's articulated that everybody can see and relate to has made a big change. So what's your big mission, right? Is there a wrong that you want to right? Is there a big problem that you're trying to solve through your business? I talked to a young lady the other day who is basically trying to change the lives of millions of autistic children, and she's doing it through an association. That's a pretty big goal. And when we first talked about this, Perry was like, I don't know, man, we're not trying to change the world. And then he started thinking about the feedback that we get in all these associations, and we see that these people who are part of the associations that we've put together are having really meaningful benefits in their lives as a result of being able to hang out with other people that have these common interests, and he bought into it as well, and we all have. And so think about taking the time to do this. It's something that is a common element for all of the fastest growing, most successful companies. And who will what you are doing impact? Is there also some sort of specific time that you want to accomplish this goal by? That's certainly helpful. Charitable commerce is another really common theme. So what good can you do out there in the community, right? Honest does Girls Who Code, supports girlswhocode.com. Alex and Andy have a dedicated jewelry line that all of the proceeds go to fight AIDS. Dollar Shave Club is Colon Cancer Alliance, a lot of stuff that they do for them. Tom's obviously gives the pair of shoes. We all know that story to everybody. And Warby Parker, for every pair of glasses that's purchased, gives a pair to someone who needs them. Really, really important, I think, and we have not really dialed this down. We give money at Digital Marketer. I think we gave about $100,000 in 2015 to charities directly and another 50 or so in support. But we haven't really honed that down yet. So that's something that we'll be working on and talking about next year as we identify it. And then, is there some good that you can do through your business, right? Can you donate one of whatever you sell, even if it's a digital product, right? Even if it's a digital product, if you can help someone out who is in need, I think it's a really helpful thing. There's some magic, like the magic of writing down goals to achieve them, I think, in being charitable and making a statement and taking action on it. The next thing that we found in common with all of them is that they're all building a better model, right? They're reinventing the model or they're reinventing the market. So Blue Apron was basically, hey, people hate going to the store to pick up groceries. And if they go to the store and they pick up groceries, then they need a teaspoon of capers, then they've got this big jar of capers that sits in their refrigerator for 10 years until they need capers again. So let's deliver actually what people need in the portions that they need, and that's what Blue Apron does. So looking at these, is there some challenge in the way that people are consuming or being forced to consume whatever it is that you're selling or whatever it is that you want to sell now that can be done better? Honest did it with trying to find organic, hard to find baby products, right? That was something that Jessica Alba and her co-founder ran into. And both of these are subscription related models because the model is designed to fix the inconvenience. So if you're looking for a recurring revenue model, which is a good idea, right? You'll get a higher valuation if you've got a recurring revenue model. You don't have to worry about cash flow as much, and you'll have predictable inventory to buy. So if you're looking for that model, what is it that people that are consuming whatever class of things that you're selling, what is it that they are consuming on a regular basis that would translate into a subscription model? Dollar Shave Club was from the famous video, right? Buying razors at the drugstore, pain in the butt, and it's expensive. So all of these folks are taking the middle people out and offering the value directly in terms of convenience and the ability to not have to continue to go out and buy on a regular basis. So what's your business model? What unique thing can you do to not be just another Me Too business? And that's really important. It's hard. It's a hard question, but it's good to ask yourself, if you're going to go out and sell more flashlights, if you look at something we do and you sell flashlights and you're just going to go out and sell flashlights and knock off Survival Life, that's a Me Too business, right? Why do that when you can actually do something that will do some good, impact the world, and make you money at the same time? What is the thing that's always been done that way that could be done differently and better? What's the thing that's always been done that way that could be done differently and better, like Blue Apron with the measured ingredients? And would your business be better if you were fully vertically integrated? Vertically integrated means that you own sourcing, manufacturing, production, distribution, sales, the whole thing, right? And what we found is that for us, the ability to have a higher margin by being fully integrated is pretty significant. So it's a difference of about 20 to 30% margin just by owning the entire process. The other benefit is you get the full feedback loop. So when people, and you hear this from Dollar Shave and Blue Apron and all these folks, Honest, that when a product isn't interesting, they know it immediately. And so they're iterating really, really fast. So is there a chance for you to do that to get the full spectrum of the vertical integration, right? Free shipping and speedy delivery. Amazon is raising the bar constantly on this. And if you can't keep up, you're gonna get lost, right? So we have our own pick, pack, and ship center because we have to do this. In the tools thing, I mentioned SKU Vault and ShipStation and ShipWorks as solutions that we use to help us compete. And Amazon's raising the bar more and more. Target has free shipping Target did a test. They lowered their minimum order for free shipping from $50 to $25 and found that it outperformed so much that they lowered their minimum full time to $25. That's how important it was for them. Blue Apron and Stitch Fix offer free shipping. Choxy partnered with ShipStation. Those are the companies I mentioned a minute ago. Amazon has Amazon Now, Amazon Prime Now, which can be delivery within an hour or two. And now they've got these dash buttons. Have you seen these? Who's seen these dash buttons? Anybody? Does anybody have one? All right. I don't get it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. So it's basically got the pointing. There we go. It's got the brand on the little button, and you put it near whatever it is that you need to reorder. Like if you need Tide, you put a little Tide thing on your washer, and you hit the button when you're out, and they just ship you more. Pretty cool. Pretty smart. And then Choxy is a deal site, and so they have all drop shippers. So they've got kind of a drop shipper management thing. So if you're doing drop shipping, then this might be a practice that would be helpful, but they control the supply chain with rewards and penalties. So if a supplier doesn't deliver within a certain period of time, then they get a warning. And if it happens again, basically they get cut off. So if you've got a lot of people, like if you're buying from Chinese factories through Alibaba or something like that, and you've got a lot of people that are product suppliers, then having that conversation where you actually become a person to them and instituting something like this could be a big help. Personalization is huge, and personalization is one of the most important things that we'll be focusing on with Native Commerce for all our products as well. And you'll see with DMHQ that it's becoming more and more personalized even on the digital delivery side. So Blue Apron does it with an app where you basically sign up and you choose your food preference, your plan, and delivery day. Who has used Blue Apron? Anybody? A few people. Okay, cool. So when you go through the process, they ask this information. I'll show you screenshots in a second. Stitch Fix has a personalized stylist for women on the go, and the mobile app basically lets people upload the pictures wearing clothes that they like, and then the stylist knows the kinds of clothes that seem like they'll fit them the best, right? Style-wise. And then Makeup Genius by L'Oreal, which my son, who is here, just terrified my wife by sending her a picture and saying, "What do you think of this?" And he was in full makeup and he looked amazing, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, I don't know, what do you think?" And I said, "It's an app." I said, "No, I don't think so, it's an app." And it was this L'Oreal app, which if nothing else is fun to play with, right? So this is Blue Apron. You basically go onto the App Store, and when you sign up, you can see they ask you do you want a two-person plan? What's your dietary preference? Do you want mixed meat, seafood, poultry, etc.? And then what do you like to eat? Check if I'm a vegetarian. And then they order with the checkout with Apple Pay. So very, very personalized experience. They don't let you, interestingly enough, and this is something to think about with your business, they don't actually let you pick what you want, but they do know enough that there are certain categories of things that they should probably be able to exclude that will make you happier. So is there something in your business that you can do that with? With Stitch Fix, you sign in and get started, and then basically they give you a bunch of different options of outfits to say, "I like it, I hate it, it's okay," so that they know what kinds of things to send you, right? And there's several pages of it when you go through it. It's a pretty cool service. And then an actual live person looks at your personal choices and then helps pick out the 5 things that they're going to send to you in the box each month. And they also give you a bonus. I think they give you 25% off if you keep the 5 things, so they don't have to restock it and they don't have to deal with the shipping. Interesting strategy, right? But they ask you all kinds of stuff, right? Take the style quiz. And the important thing about these quizzes, when you're getting information from people, and you need to have this information to serve them better, is to let them know that you need to have this information to serve them better. That their experience with you will be better if they take the time to do this. And that you'll get buy-in from. And then you can click to allow the camera access so that you can upload a picture of yourself. and the credit card. This is Makeup Genius. I tried it out. I think I look fantastic. And then a personalized web experience. So can you personalize it through an interactive survey on your site? And there's tools at the end of this that I'll tell you that that'll help you with this. eSalon does custom hair color based on user input, and they walk you through a whole lot of questions that I'll show you real quick. And then there's a personal stylist that will look at your answers and look at the photo that you uploaded to pick a custom color selection for your hair. Very personalized. Sephora has an app that allows you to try on lipstick instantly. And I saved you by not trying that on myself, so I don't have to show you that. And then AlexandAnnie.com has a chain station builder. So basically, the necklace, you can, like the old ones, I don't know if you remember at the mall, Perry used to be in this business. But basically, it's the ability to pick out and build a customized chain online. So all this is very, very personalized, right? So here's eSalon. You pick basic things, and then it gets more and more specific to very, very specific. And then you upload your photo, and at the end, they send you your custom color. So what personalized experience can you deliver in your business? How can you personalize the experience of your customer dealing with you through a survey, through some sort of input that they will give that will make their lives better, right? That's the Sephora virtual artist. There's the chain builder, and this chain station builder is something that we're actually working on at one of our sites right now as well. Use personalized email to improve conversions also. So Choxy basically personalizes based on page visit, click data, and aggregated data. And I'm going to give you all the tools that these guys use. We reverse engineered everything. So at the end, I'm going to give you all those. If you click to view a pair of UGG boots, but you don't buy, then you'll get an email with a link to the shopping cart with the UGG boots already in them. And when I go through the interview process and I talk to the folks that work at these places, or I'm reading interviews or listening to podcasts from them, these are the things that are having meaningful impact in driving conversions and really putting them over the top. So retention science is the tool that those guys use. And I found retention science through these guys, and a whole lot of these top 50 internet retailers are using retention science. So that is on our short list of tools to try. Can't recommend it yet, but I can tell you that all of the folks that are using it speak incredibly highly of it. And so they used, I think this was Honest Company that used this sequence. Does it say Honest? It basically just shows the emails, and then it goes down to the actual person of the level of engagement, what they clicked on, what their behavior was, all that kind of stuff. Gives analytics, and as well as it tracks the behavior of people, and it senses behaviors like not opening emails for a long time, not visiting the site for a long time, and APIs into your site that are indicative of someone who's going to cancel a subscription, and then they send them an offer to engage them before they cancel. Pretty cool. So use dynamic websites to improve engagement. Zulily delivers millions of different versions of its website based on user behavior. They use a tool called Conversant to do that. So if you are a mom and you're primarily buying kids' clothes, then you're going to see kids' clothes. If you're a guy and you cook, you're probably going to see kitchen gadgets. And no one sees the same website. I think that's really, really a game changer. So in native commerce, for our site, Mason and Ivy, which is selling women's fashion, when somebody comes, we can show them the kinds of things that they've interacted with before, so we're not showing them things that they're not interested in. And this is the tool, Conversant. ConversantMedia.com is the site. So what personalized experiences can you deliver? Can you do a survey? Can you get them to give you some information that will be beneficial to them and to you so that you get a closer relationship with them? Can you allow your customers to create their own customized version or mix of your product? And then can you use a tool like Conversant or Retention Science to customize the experience automatically? Omnichannel. I liked this quote because it comes from a company that I absolutely hate. I don't know if you've ever listened to the customer service calls from Time Warner, but they're just awful. Or if you've ever had to, God help you, be on a call with those people. But it's actually a pretty good definition. Omnichannel is viewing the experience through the eyes of your customer, orchestrating the customer experience across all channels so that it's seamless, integrated, and consistent. It anticipates that they may start in one channel and move to another as they progress to resolution. Simply put, it's multi-channel done right. And I can only guess that John has been fired from Time Warner for trying to deliver this level of customer experience. So, omnichannel basically kind of being everywhere that the customer is going to be, right? So let's take a look at marketingcharts.com, by the way, is a great source of data if you're looking for some. This is a thing they did with StrongView and Selligent, and it just says in January 16, this is where people are going to be spending their money. So wisely, traditional channels like email marketing and social media, but also there's quite a bit of spending in search and even public relations. And thank goodness, direct mail, which I've got a direct mail business now that is 21 years old. The business is 21 years old, and it grew 50% last year over the year before that. Direct mail is money, I gotta tell you. So it's nice to see that up here again. Trade shows and events often overlooked. So when you're thinking about places to be, this is kind of a good checklist of places to think about based on what 295 global business leaders are doing with their money. And then online to offline, which we talked about. Let's talk about it a little bit more specifically. So Neiman Marcus, this is where everything is going, and this is why we bought Banana Bay. And we bought Banana Bay in Austin because it was a good place to start because we are in Austin. It is not the ideal place for us to do a store. The ideal place for us to do a store is where our biggest buying list of customers is, which is Houston. But what an advantage for you and for us that you're online and that you know that the best place to open a store is Houston because that's where your buyers are, and that the second best place is Chicago, and the third best place is Missoula. I mean, that's pretty big advantage. And I think that if you can let us blaze this trail for you and convince you that going retail, even if it's a little commitment like a kiosk, is a good thing to do, it's gonna change your business. Because, look at this. So Neiman Marcus, the site encourages users to connect with in-store associates, and the in-store associates will do FaceTime sessions with you. So my wife shops at Neiman Marcus, and her associate will actually get on FaceTime with her and say, yeah, that looks good, you should wear that. That's all she's looking for, right? It's pretty cool. JCPenney, Julep, and Nordstrom, you can buy online and pick up in the store. This is a huge thing, and there's a stat in here, I think, yeah, there we go. So Pier 1, they have 600 stores that are iPad-equipped in-store associates. They order out-of-stock items online. 30% of the online orders originate in the store. So what's cool about this is sometimes people just want to have somebody to talk to, right? Because they just got off the phone with Time Warner. And they just want a live person to talk to that they can go to if things don't go right. And you don't have to have a huge inventory. You don't have to be Walmart. You don't have to have everything that you sell, as long as you can show them, hey, yeah, we have that in orange on our site. Let's get you hooked up with it right now and place the order. That's going to get you a whole lot more business. And then hopefully I have this on there. Okay, well I don't, but the other part of the Pier 1 thing is that 30% of the online orders originate in-store, but also 30% of the orders, so the other is true too, 30% of the orders that are placed online are picked up in-store. So if you can't have a fleet of 767s and semis rolling around like Amazon does, you can still play this game. If you have a kiosk, let's say you sell beauty products or supplements or whatever, right? Whatever you sell, if you've got a little kiosk in the area that you know most of your customers are in, and you give them the ability to order and then just go pick it up there, then if you have the same experience Pier 1 did, it's gonna be 30% of the people. We'll tell you, you'll see tests on DM for how Banana Bay works, but I think that's a big deal. So if you could get 30% of the orders that are, if you get 30% of the people online picking it up and 30% of the people at the store ordering online, that's a pretty big part of your business just by having that physical touch. Just by having that physical touch, which people desperately want. Warby Parker has pop-up stores, pop-up yurts, school bus stores, and retail. They've got all kinds of creative stuff. If you don't follow Warby Parker, you definitely should. They're a very, very innovative company. Honest.com. So what are they doing online, omni-channel? Well, they're on the big five. They're on Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Honest, Uniqlo is, Dollar Shave Club. But you'll see some differences. So Honest is on television also. One thing that was interesting is Honest originally, if you read the first interviews, they say that they really want to control the entire experience, and so they didn't want to do marketplaces. And now they've started to do marketplaces because there's just too many people. There's too many people on Amazon, too many people in the other marketplaces. If you remember way back to the session we did just before this, one of our initiatives is to expand into marketplaces much more intensely. And that's because I think there's just too much traffic there to not be there. So Dollar Shave Club on TV, they have podcast ads. They do a lot of podcast ads. So podcast, Midroll is a great place to look, midroll.com, if you're looking for places to buy advertising. eTails does retail, eBay, Amazon, Newegg, Walmart, all kinds of marketplace channels. So here's another answer to the question of what to expand on, but it's also, what are your competitors doing? Where can you get more traffic that's easy, that's available? So we go to SimilarWeb, and we run a competitors' similar sites analysis. Then we run a comparative analysis with our top 4 competitors. And then we find out what channels they're getting traffic from that we're not, and then we go get traffic on those channels. So here's what it looks like. So 1, I'm in SimilarWeb. I go to competitors and click on similar sites. And number 3 up there, you can see that similar sites are Healthy Surprise, Boxterra, Graze. I pick the ones that I think are most like who I want to compare, right? And I'm comparing for NatureBox. So these are my main competitors if I'm NatureBox. Interestingly enough, in number 4, NatureBox, this is very telling. So NatureBox is clearly in the corporate market because they have a whole separate site called natureboxcorporate.com. So that might have been a market that I didn't know that existed, or I didn't think about that I did. And then if I go there, I'll find out that they're actually selling food for American Airlines. Another place I wouldn't have thought to go. So the first look shows the traffic from all the sources and by percentages, right? So let's look for, I'm just going to talk you through this. So this is what you see when you run that analysis on SimilarWeb, and I'm looking for opportunities. So let's say I'm NatureBox, and I'm in blue. I know that I own Slick Deals and Pop Dust pretty well. If I'm Graze.com or one of these other guys, then these guys have these channels all to themselves. So I should be there. That's a place I should go look immediately, right? And so I love this percentage breakdown comparison instead of just doing company by company, because I can see who's missing what opportunities. And if I put our company in here, I can see what opportunities we're missing. So I can see that these guys are using the heck out of email and I'm not using it at all. Or these guys own 70% of search and I don't own any, or I only own that tiny percent. Or down here, if I'm the guys in pink, which is Graze, then I can see that 2 of my competitors obviously are using ShareASale as an affiliate network, and maybe I should look at ShareASale. Is that helpful? Cool. That is SimilarWeb. That's just a comparative competitor analysis on SimilarWeb. So then you take this information that you find, right? So we looked there and we saw where we should be and where we aren't and who's beating us where. We know where we want to start to focus some of our attention. And then we go to what I showed you in last session, the traffic grid, and we write those channels down at the top, and then we think about how we're going to address them in each of our profit centers. You see how this kind of ties together? Now let's look at referrals from other sites. So this is traffic that other sites are sending, and take a look at the sites that are sending referral traffic and the percentages each competitor is receiving, just like we did before, and then find the ones that send more referral traffic to your competitors, and then go get it. So same thing here, right? Look at this. NatureBox is pretty good on all the other things we looked at, but Pandora is sending 96.5% of the traffic to Graze.com. If I'm NatureBox, I should be on Pandora. So if you hadn't thought that maybe you should be advertising on Pandora and you haven't run this type of analysis with your site and your competitors, then you're missing out on some big opportunities, right? So ShareASale, again, we saw before, but BuzzFeed is providing 55% of the traffic for Graze.com, and again, nothing to NatureBox. So there's a big opportunity there. Same thing with My Subscription Addiction. So you'll find all kinds of traffic sources that you might be able to go to directly, or you might be able to target through GDN, Google Display Network, or any other source, but there's just all this traffic that's just sitting out there. So if you think you've got a problem getting traffic, or you see these people who are having this crazy wild success in getting traffic and expanding their users and customers, then just do this analysis and you will find everywhere that it is, everywhere it's coming from. Again, add it back to the traffic channels. So your traffic grid can be endless, right? And then you prioritize based on where you think the greatest opportunities are. And then run a vertical report on AdBeat or a similar competitive intelligence tool. I like AdBeat quite a bit. I like this feature in particular that they just instilled. So you can run a complete vertical report. So I'm doing it here for HelloFresh, Plated, and Blue Apron. And I want to see who's winning. And it kind of tells me, it says Blue Apron was third in share of ad spend, tells us how much they're spending, what the share of voice is, what the ads are, what are the most popular ad sizes, all that. And rather than having to go tediously through all of the research on AdBeat individually, it just creates this great report that's a great thumbnail for you to see what you might want to dive into. And if you look on there too, it'll show you the top networks that it's seen on, right? And in that case, it was all Google. And the top publishers. So other places that you might want to run these ads. I think that's super helpful. Social commerce. Social commerce is huge. So how can you turn Instagram into a store? I wondered. People are doing it. Let's talk about it. So this is the top 500, the top 26 from the Internet Retailer 500. And you see Blue Apron is kind of at the top on social savvy according to them, but it just tells you how many places all these folks are and what kind of volume they've got. But social commerce converts. The statics, according to Pixely, which is a cool tool, Pixely, Pixlee.com, is that shoppers who interact with user-generated content photos as opposed to stock photos that you take are 2 times more likely to purchase. 2 times more likely to purchase from a UGC photo. UGC photos increase engagement, amplify your brand, and they raise on-site conversion by 12%. So tools like Curalate and Pixely will allow you to basically do a feed from your social media sites with permissions or without permissions, depending on what the tool is and your level of desired legal compliance, which we recommend that you always get permission. But there's actually a tool where people, when they're uploading the photos to your site or they're uploading the photos to your Instagram, can click on it and then are giving you permission to use them on your site. And those photos on your site, 12% higher conversion rate. So let's look at who's doing it best, right? So Zulily gets 7% of their traffic from Facebook, Warby Parker 9%, NatureBox 21%. I've seen sites that go up to 70%. But this was really interesting to me. This is e-commerce conversion. Who has the best converting social network? No surprise that Facebook does, but what I didn't really think about was Vimeo, and I definitely had never heard of Polyvore. So this kind of analysis gives me a desire to, it gives me information that I can drill down into more and see if I can start testing these channels and find out if there's someplace I should be. The other thing that was interesting to me is the fastest growers drive results with social. The average percent of traffic from Facebook is 6% on the fastest growing retailers and 2.7 on the others. So Facebook's obviously a big hit for those folks. And then some other stats. Pinterest is very overlooked. 70% of the traffic for the top retailers comes from Pinterest. They have 70% more Pinterest followers, that is, and 2 times the number of Facebook likes. So the next thing is, how do we remove the friction and encourage people to engage socially? So Blue Apron has the mobile app that encourages people to post their creations on Instagram and Twitter, and they make it fun and easy right within the app. Julep, which is another company worth following. Julep actually, Perry talked about contest domination. Julep is one of the case studies on the contest domination site. But their hashtag Maven Unboxing drove 20 million social users over Christmas. And then contests and giveaways, 900,000 social followers. I know they're using contest domination and one other one which I have in here. Charlotte Russe uses Charlotte Look hashtag plus Curelate and Pixie. Pixely, you will see Curelate and Pixely over and over and over. It kind of tells you Curelate and Pixely probably worth looking at. And Warby Parker uses the hashtag Warby Home Try On to increase shares 40%. And then they comment on those posts, and that interaction, just the realness of Warby responding, increased conversions 50%. 50%. So here's how the Blue Apron app looks, right? So you take an amazing photo with your food, they make it easy, they give you filters and stuff, and then they make it really easy to share. So think about this, and everything that we have in native commerce is going on apps also. So it's just a bit of a process, but it's all being developed right now. So if you're doing e-com and you don't have an app, there's so many benefits, including what I talked about in the last session about app indexing and deep linking. It's just a really big advantage for you if you've got an app. This is a contest was being run on, I think, Contest Domination. The other one that they use is I think it's a free service called Rafflecopter, rafflecopter.com. That's another one that Julep uses for running contests. And then Contest Domination, which Perry talked about. This is Pixely. So just to kind of give you an idea of what things look like, this is Pixely in action. So on Instagram, you only really get one link on your page that you can send people off to. So what Pixely and Curelate do is they will turn that link into the ability, you just say, shop our Instagram at the link below, and it basically clones the site over, and it looks something like this. And now, if I like the lace-up flats that the arrow's pointing to, I just click on it, and it takes me into my shopping cart right from that page that has all the Instagram pictures. Now remember, the data said that these on site are going to convert 12% better than any other picture. So now you're getting traffic from Instagram to your site directly to your e-com site with the ability to buy. That's about as close as you can get right now to shopping Instagram. And the people who are already on your site have access to this page, so they're converting 12% better, so you get kind of a double hit. And then this is Curelate. So Curelate does it with a thing called Like to Buy. So if you look up there, there's a little like2be.ui, and whatever they click on, it takes them to that page. So Alex and Annie, they asked their Instagram followers to post pics of themselves wearing the Alex and Annie jewelry. And people love this, right? So it grew 77% last year. 77%. And so all they're doing is making it easy on their site to post these pictures. 585,000 shares using another tool that we'll be testing out called Olapic, O-L-A-P-I-C. And here's what it looks like. So basically, they say, this is on their site, it says, let's have a heart-to-heart. And then you click, and you can shop the look right away, and that's all being done through Olapic. And then, after you buy your Alex and Annie, you just click on the button and upload it to the site and share. This is what Olapic looks like, just in case you were curious. So this is how it works, right? They collect all the source content in real time through feeds. Then you get to curate it so you don't have horrible pictures, right? You want to have some control over what the pictures look like. Then you publish it. You request the rights automatically, so Olapic is getting those rights for you automatically, so you don't have anything to worry about there. And then it provides analytics. Really, really cool. So now I'm back to Similar Web, and I'm going to run a social analysis to identify who's doing what well. And so this is just the results of that. This is just the results of that. So I can see who's really strong and who's really weak. And these guys have nothing on Reddit, but these guys are on Reddit, and maybe I hadn't thought that Reddit was a good source, but it turns out that it might be. And you can see who's doing well on Pinterest, and only one of them, Boxterra, on LinkedIn, but they've got LinkedIn all to themselves. So should I try that? If they're there, maybe I should test it and see, because I don't want them there buying the ads as cheap as possible without a little bit of competition if it's a good source. So another really good thing to run. So this is how you do it with these four, right? And whatever you're using, if it's Curalate, if it's Pixely, if it's Olapix, ideally on Instagram you add a URL to the brand bio, that one link that you get that allows them to access a shoppable gallery of your products on Instagram. And then on Facebook, create a social storefront page tab, and Shopify does this and a lot of other things to allow users access to a shoppable gallery of your photos. On Twitter, if you continue to use Twitter, we still actually get business from Twitter. Drop in a URL that leads users to your product pages. And on Pinterest, add the URL to the Pinterest photo caption that allows them to access your product's brand pages. Search. Isn't this interesting? The 25 fastest growing retailers spend 4 times more on paid search. 4 times more. So we're looking at best practices, right? We're looking at, these are the most successful people. What are they doing? Maybe we should do that. Okay? So I like SEMrush. These guys are here. It's a great tool, one of my favorite search tools. And I just run, again, I love comparative analysis, because a comparative analysis gives you so much more than just looking at things in a vacuum. So here I ran a comparative analysis between Blue Apron, Plated, and HelloFresh, the 3 biggest competitors in the home delivery food. Look at Blue Apron. They've got 94,000 keywords. 94,000. Do you think that's automated just a little bit? Do you think there's maybe a tool? So, and then it shows what they've got in common. So it gives me an idea who the players are, and then I can see graphically who I want to break down their SEO strategy, right? Same thing for paid search on the desktop. And I run mobile, so whatever level of subscription I have to buy to SimilarWeb or SEMrush or any of these services, I have to have mobile data too. Mobile is so important. About 60%, I think, of all of our sales right now are mobile. So really, really important. And again, Blue Apron is winning the war there. So if you're confused about how to do keyword research, there's a site by a guy named SEO Nick, and he has a course that I think is relatively inexpensive. I know it's under $100. It may be like 47, but it's the best how to do keywords course I've seen. I talked about a whole bunch of different keyword tools in the presentation that I did on tools, so watch that if you didn't get a chance to get in. Content marketing is one of the fastest, most effective ways to do SEO in the post-Panda, Penguin, Hummingbird world. And pay attention to Russ's session if you didn't get to go to that on the viral content machine, and then Perry and Jason's on the new SEO. So you guys have access to all the recordings, I think, as a result of being here, or if you're at home as a result of the live stream, definitely watch those, okay? And if you didn't get the recordings, you really should, because you don't want to miss those sessions. And then narrow niche to broad market. So I talked about that in the last session with respect to Survival Life. We started with 3 million survivalists, and then we went to 40 million campers and 141 million outdoor enthusiasts. So these guys did the same thing. I think we're on the right track, and you guys should too. So DollarShaveClub.com starts with razors. Now they want to own the bathroom cabinet. They dominated razors. That video, I think I read they sold 15,000 subscriptions in the first hour that big viral video was posted. 15,000. Subscriptions. So they started with razors, and now they want to own the bathroom cabinet. Honest started with baby products. If it has expanded into cleaning and personal care. Birchbox started with women, now does men. NatureBox started with personal snacks. They're getting into breakfasts and wine boxes because, like we said earlier, their people are going to buy this stuff from somebody else. So why not why not give them the opportunity to buy from them, because they already have the relationship? For all of you, if you're not doing this yet, definitely check it out and see what else your customers might be interested in. And then Amazon obviously did books, and then they're like, screw it, we're just going to own the world. So what niche are you in now? Are you in a very broad or a very narrow niche? If you're in a broad one, then maybe it makes sense to look at what are the sub-niches and go dominate one of those and then sell out of the success in that into the broader market. If you're in a narrow niche now and you're doing really well, but you're getting diminishing returns because you have you've basically owned that market, then it's time to go to the next level up. And this research is all, like, what the sizes of those markets are. The research is really easily available online. Maybe you have to spend $20 for a report, but totally worth it. What's the natural expansion from the niche you're in to the next broader niche? And then what I had mentioned about Survival Life. Recurring revenue. Really key in a lot of the models of the super successful folks, right? More stable and predictable, I mentioned. It helps with inventory. Now here's the deal. And here's what we've really had to wrestle with and spend a lot of time on, is that it requires more care to engage the customer with your product and brand and not focus too much on acquisition. Not buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, right? You need to engage with people that are on recurring revenue because they're already buying your stuff. You actually have to give them some stuff, okay? So the fastest companies with subscription revenue: Blue Apron, Dollar Shave Club, eSalon, Honest, NatureBox, Naked Wines, all subscription models. So it seems like if you don't have a subscription model, that you need to have one. Digital marketer had a really low subscription model, and we looked at our sales and our going forward with certifications and said, that should really be a subscription. But for a couple of reasons. One is it doesn't make sense to get a certification in 2016 and still be certified in 2027 because maybe one or two things changed in the online world, right? So it made sense for us to say, well, let's do $95 a month for an individual, and then let's give businesses the ability to buy some other amount. Same thing in your business. Whatever you're selling, if it's a beauty product, if it's a health product, anything that you're selling that doesn't really lend itself to subscription, I think it's worth investigating how you might turn that into subscription. Because let's say that you were originally, before Blue Apron, that you were just a restaurant where you don't really have a subscription opportunity unless they're going to come into the restaurant all the time. But Blue Apron said, you can turn that into a subscription service. Diapers, you can turn that into a subscription service, right? So this is from Retention Science, and one thing for all of you and all of the people who work for you, every tool that you use, you should subscribe and go regularly and read all the reports, all the white papers, everything, all the case studies that are on the sites of these tool companies. It's a goldmine of information. Truly, truly a goldmine of information. So this is all from Retention Science. I would recommend you go and check it out, but it basically talks about different stages. And this one, to me, is really important, and I'm not sure how many people do this, but in the welcome series, when you have them come, we send from Native Commerce 5 emails right away the first time somebody buys. One's like a thank you, one's a confirmation, one's a receipt, one's a here's something you might like, and one's here's a surprise bonus. Well, now we have said to our email delivery service, we've said to Maropost, hey, this person is interested in us because they've opened all 5 of our emails. Now basically, we're a safe sender. They definitely want to get this, right? That's the best time to get that going, is to send them a welcome series with good stuff so they'll open them and read them, and then it's easier to get deliverability. So introduce the brand values. It's a good thing to have a message from the CEO that summarizes that and says, here's the expectation, here's what you're going to be getting. Then give them some testimonials and reviews, and then ask them to engage with you on social media, because the more that they engage with you on social media, the more that they will buy, the more they'll be invested, the more you'll be able to nurture that relationship. This is how Honest does it. The picture of Jessica Alba and her co-founder in an email saying welcome, right? So this is something that's worth thinking about adding, and it provides that personal touch that people love. Then you have the retention stage where you're trying to make sure that they stay by giving value and then continuing to tell them why it's good and in their interest to stay a customer. And this is where a lot of us go wrong, including us, we've been guilty of this in Native. Instead of purchase incentives and offers campaigns, they should focus on further engaging with the products they already subscribe to, which is why we have all the videos now on YouTube for every single product we've got, so they get an email and say, here's this cool new thing that we found out how to do with your survival knife, Here's how to get tackled by TSA while going through security with your survival knife. And then a retention series. So new or updated product information, alerts, personalized recommendations like the Tim Ferriss box letter, helpful content, all kinds of stuff. So Tim puts in Tim Ferriss's box a letter from him that it says, this is why I picked out all this cool stuff. So if you have somebody who's on a subscription basis and there's any kind of different stuff that you're sending them, if you're sending them a can of peanuts with salt every single month, then maybe there's not that many things you can think to do with them, right? But in his box, he's actually curating a box for them, and he's going to tell the story why. You remember Perry's story about Lewis and Clark going through with the pump gun? People just love that. So sell the story in your emails too. Show them how to consume and sell the story. So preventing voluntary churn, which is when the customer cancels. Warning signs are if they pause their subscription more than once, they're probably going to cancel, right? If the low email open rate and low click-throughs, or if they're not returning to browse the site, then there's a pretty big risk that they're going to cancel. You ideally have some software, and Retention Science is the one that we're going to be trying out to do this, that automatically senses these warning signs and then says, hey, we need to engage this person. Let's send them an offer. Let's do something cool for them to cause them to not cancel. The major reasons for churn are either they're not getting enough value or you're focusing too much on selling them stuff. You forgot that they're already paying. So for box subscriptions, subscribers add value. They basically will add up the value of all the items and then find out if they're getting a good deal. So if you've got a subscription box and they can go out and buy the stuff, I do this, and you can buy the stuff for less than you're paying, then you're going to do that. You're going to cancel. Full-size products and high-quality products win. They have higher perceived value. And then relevant high-quality content, smooth customer experiences, and well-defined customer journey. Just give them good deals and take good care of them. I mean, that's what all this comes down to. Exit surveys are really good to ask why they're leaving and what you could have done differently. And then when they answer what you could have done differently, just do that differently, right? Exit email saying, sorry to see you go. And send win-back offers. I think there's some of those in the machine. And you'll see there are all kinds of rewards to keep people engaged. Dollar Shave has a miss you letter. Insanity gives t-shirts. And then how do you keep them engaged, right? The key to retention is engagement. So how do you keep them engaged? Basically, you just have to curate engaging, rewarding touches. That's it. And then what are you going to do to keep them coming back? So how are you going to put one of these things in place? Do you have a recurring one right now? What can you do to incorporate that into your existing product offers to reduce voluntary churn? And what can you do to reduce involuntary churn, which I said we use Vantiv for that, and that's those 7 steps to keep people subscribed. The next big thing is be on trend. So natural products, eco-responsible products, healthy living and snacking, these have all hit trends. How do you find the trends? I subscribe to a service called trendwatching.com. Trendwatching.com identifies every year 16 trends, and they're pretty on point too. They give them these kind of catchy, goofy names, but it's a site. There's a lot of free stuff there. I would definitely go and check it out. For example, status. Not that you can buy our product, but you have to earn the right to buy our product, right? You have to do something in order to qualify to get this. The Hunt does this. They say active members of the fashion site can apply to access exclusive perks. So what exclusive perks can people earn their way into, right? Uniqlo has a mood machine that lets customers find the right t-shirt based on their mood. And it clearly is scientific because look, he's got stuff on his head. 53% of consumers are willing to share personal data in return for tools that help them make decisions. 53%. So as long as you let them know that you're going to use this to help them make a better decision, then they will give you the information. So ask these questions to see if you're on trend. What are the major trends taking place in your current market? What trends apply to your target audience? Does your current model and product lineup match one or more of these trends? Get strong customer feedback. This is just using the data of what people are buying to drive what you're going to sell in the future. This is a really good one. So Graze, which is one of the food boxes, one of the snack boxes, they actually show the box that you're going to get or that you got, and then they show you pictures of the food that came in the box, and you click and tell them if you hated it, if you liked it or loved it, and then they use this information to say, oh, they don't like pistachio nut snacks, or they don't like snacks that are sweet. So you're helping your customer get exactly what they want, and they're giving you the feedback happily because they don't want the pistachio nuts, right? And you see that they'll leave reviews for you when they're happy like that. Let's see. And I'm gonna skip through to a couple of the tools that I want you to see. So the slides are gonna be available, but I just wanna show you a couple of things real quick. Localytics for mobile. Fantastic tool. I've taken a look at it. We're working on implementing it now to give a customized mobile experience. And this Culture Amp, A lot of people ask about how do you build a culture in. So Warby Parker, the 3 tools that Warby Parker's CEO said that are absolutely critical for 2016 are Waze for navigating, Looker, which is a company-wide employee available data and analytics solution that we have not had a chance to look at, but definitely are, and this one for culture called Culture Amp. So this is something that we're going to be checking out too, because they have got a pretty good culture over there. And then a friction-free tech experience. So that means that your page load time should be ideally, definitely no more than 5 seconds, but ideally 3 or fewer, and you should be up all the time. You should run load tests to be sure that your site is actually up and can handle the load of business that it's getting. And there's a whole bunch of tools for that from the tool session that you can check. New Relic, Catchpoint Systems, and Akamai are 3 that we see over and over and over on the most successful retailer sites. If you want to see who knows how to engage people, because engagement means business, people who stay on the site buy, then take a look at these companies. So Dolls Kill, the average time on site is 23 minutes. SoftChoice, Peapod, Interline, and Fresh Direct, really, really high. And if you want to see who's really not doing a good job, it's these guys. Bundling. The biggest way that you can increase the average immediate order value is to bundle a bunch of stuff together. And all of these guys do a great job of it. So Blade bundles from Dollar Shave, diapers and wipe bundles from Honest. Warby does 5 pairs for 5 days. They send you a box with 5 pairs of glasses. There's not a option to get a 3-pair try for free, right? Because they want them to be in your hands and they want you to fall in love with them. So what can you do to aggregate some of your products together in a bundle that will be appealing to your customers and allow you to increase that average immediate order value, which allows you then to spend more money to acquire customers because your order value is going up. And then NatureBox does it with snacks. 50% off your first box, and it's a bundling, right? So products that go together like Dollar Shave Club does with razors and shave butters and gels, products that complement one another like Honest does. If you're buying this, you're probably buying that too. And then increasing the quantity and selection like Nature does. And then be different from Amazon. Give a personal touch, a physical connection. It's mostly about either having more goods or connecting with the customer more. Ryan talked about that in that deposit and takeaway keynote that he did, which I thought was really great. I talked about total vertical integration. Own as much of the chain as possible from product sourcing to product sale and delivery. And then, and again, the slide, I'm skipping because I'm just trying to hit the high points because I only have a minute left. I talked about our margin being higher on the products that we own. And then e-commerce platforms. So I had not heard of cart functionality before. That is one that is used by Blue Apron, Honest, and Warby Parker. Magento, which we are using in native commerce now, is NatureBox, Dollar Shave, and eTails. Choxy uses a behaviorally based email targeting service called Vero. We use Maropost for that. And here are some tools. FriendBuy is a really kick-butt customer referral program that a lot of the big guys are using. So I would definitely recommend you check that out. We will definitely be doing that. And these are some of the people that are using it. Referral programs are really important. So do you have a referral program in your business? If you don't, you're missing out on 5 to 30% of total acquisition. And they say that the average CPA, the cost per acquisition on a referral, is $3 compared to an average, remember it depends on your industry, for display of 40 and retargeting of 10. So how did Dollar Shave grow so fast? They used FriendBuy. They had a really kick-butt referral program. How did Blue Apron grow so fast? They had member get a member program where people could send free mails to the people who were most likely to become subscribers to Blue Apron. Also, the same offer said in 4 different ways, just to show you the importance of split testing if you don't already believe. How many people think number 1 was the biggest return? How about number 2? Number 3? A lot more people. Number 4? It was number 4. All the same thing, same offer, right? Just said 4 different ways. Get $10 when you snack with friends, so a social aspect of it. That's what FriendBuy's widgets look like. Let's see, and that's it on Birchbox, Dollar Shave Club. Pixely, I talked about. Nanigans is a Facebook tool that you might want to check out. I'm out of time, so I'm going to go quick. Looker was one of those 3 tools that the Warby Parker fellow said that is the most important to his company. Steelhouse for an advertising suite. New Relic for software analytics. Tapad, only a couple more. And that's the Trade Desk for buying media. Yieldify for on-site remarketing. We use Optimonk and Gleam for this more than anything else. There's also OptinMonster. Yieldify I had not heard of before. Sidecar for solutions. Sociable Labs for refer a friend also. So if you want to compare FriendBuy to Sociable Labs. TV Squared, if you're buying TV, it's TV attribution. And I did a lot of infomercial work. This is a great tool. And that's it. Is that helpful? Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to take I don't have my clock. We're going to take a 30-minute break, and we'll be back in here, and Karen Kang is going to tell you guys how to get people, how she built 200 employees to do all of this stuff, and she's got all kinds of cool strategies on that. Thank you very much.